My name is Dan Formansky. I am with Green Amendments for the Generations. I'm really glad to welcome everybody here this evening. I know some folks will also be watching this recording later on. So wherever you are when you watch this, thanks for joining us. Tonight is all about all things Green Amendment, all things New Mexico, all things public health, environment, justice, our care for the earth and our planet and our fellow New Mexicans. And we're going to hear from a lot of folks tonight who have been an active part of this campaign, and they're going to tell you all about the many ways to engage. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton right to Nicole, who has been a core part of our strategy team, to properly welcome everybody.
Thank you so much, Dan. So I want to again thank everyone for coming today. We're bombarded with Zoom meetings, and just to even catch this recording at a later time, it means the world. So to lead, my name's Nicole Bonovich, and I wear many hats, right? I'm the secretary of the Veterans and Military Families Caucus. I'm a dedicated Adelante Progressive Caucus member. I'm a member of Ole, New Mexico. But today, I'm coming to you as a part of the Green Amendment for the Generations Action Team. I have an MSW and an MBA from Highlands University, and my family has resided in New Mexico since prior to its statehood. That being said, again, you're going to hear a lot about the Green Amendment, but for me, it's very simple. I'm a disabled veteran. And if any of y'all watch the new Apple TV, or if you have Apple TV, there's a Jon Stewart episode, his very first episode, and it's about war. It's about burn pits and breathing in toxins, right? And if you watch that, you'll have a little bit more insight to who I am internally, right? But I was exposed to those burn pits for 12 hours a day as a 19-year-old girl, as an ammunitions technician while serving my country. Now I'm 100% disabled. And I am also 100% reliant on my state to offer me clean enough air and water as to not lessen the years that I have left in my life. The summers where my VA doctors tell me not to go outside because the smoke in the air is too dangerous for me, or to ensure that I have water purification systems in my house so I am not adversely affected by the pollutants because the medications I have to take because of my disabilities. It's clear. I need your help. And I am absolutely happy you are here. We have an opportunity to remedy this together. While our New Mexico Constitution says that we have environmental protections as a right of importance, it does not actually protect those as an enforceable, as enforceable. The same way we protect speech or property or gun rights, clean air and clean water are not protected the same way in this state. And they are absolutely vital to my life, to your life, to future generations to come in this resource scarce state. So again, I thank each and every one of you for showing up today, to putting actions to the words, thank you for your service, right? Because with your help, you can actually help people like me, a 36-year-old Hispanic woman who just wants to make it to 50. So I ask you to please stay till the end. And any questions you may have will probably be answered. But if not, then I want to say that Maya will stay till the end and we will open up Q&A. And so thank you. And thank you, team, for having me. And now I kindly want to pass the mic to Willy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicole. My name is Willy Orr, and I am a physician and am involved in the Green Amendment because I am clearly aware, as Nicole was describing, the importance of clean air and clean water to the population and the devastating effects it has on people's health. What I'm talking about and leading into is how we are going to get this amendment passed. The amendment first has to pass the legislative session, and then it goes to the people for a vote on as a constitutional amendment. And in this short session, constitutional amendments can be proposed. So we are going all out this session to get as much support from all legislators as we can. And what we'll be hearing now is how, with the various strategies we're going to use to get that legislative support. One of the things we're going to do differently this year than last year, we did have a bill introduced in the Senate last year, and the bill died in the House, in the Senate Judiciary Committee. So this year we're going to introduce a bill both in the House and the Senate, so that we can have parallel tracks to get the bill voted on. The bill was never voted on; it got stalled in the Senate Judiciary Committee, and two of the key players in that committee who we need to work on, which we'll talk about, is Senator Cervantes from Las Cruces and Senator Daniel Soto from here in Albuquerque. We may be a little more optimistic about Daniel Soto because he, in the Rules Committee, he did propose a change to the wording of the amendment, which we accepted. So we hope we can have some more support from him. But one of the things we want to get as many people in the legislature to sign on and support the bill as we can. So the other thing we're going to do is to try to at least get the governor. We would love to have the governor support the bill, and we'll be working on that issue also. But at least we hope that the governor will at least stay neutral in the legislative issue. She does not obviously have to sign the bill because it's a constitutional amendment. So let's talk first. I'm going to send it to Anneke, who's going to talk about our co-sponsor strategy and outreach. Anneke?
Thanks, Willie. Hi, everyone. My name is Anneke van Rossum, and I am your New Mexico Green Amendment Program Coordinator. I am here based in Santa Fe for the whole fall, working on getting community members and the legislators very excited to support the Green Amendment. And one of the great things that has been happening is we've been really focusing on getting more co-sponsors. So originally we had our lead legislators were Senator Antoinette Cedillo Lopez, Representative Joanne Ferrari, Senator Harold Pope, and Senator Bill Souls. And so Senator Antoinette Cedillo Lopez is our lead in the Senate, and Representative Joanne Ferrari is our lead in the House. And through the work of those four great senators and representatives, and also work that I've been doing, and also work from great members of this coalition, we have now grown to 22 co-sponsors in just over 2 months. So that's very exciting. Couldn't have done it. And I really have to, thank the representatives and senators who have been putting the word out, and the people in this group that have been putting the word out. And so just to tell you who all those great legislators are. So I just mentioned 4. And then in addition, we have Senator Liz Stefanik, Senator Gerald Ortiz-Pino, Senator Carrie Hamlin, Representative Tara Lujan, Senator Shannon Pinto, Representative Andrea Romero, Representative Karen Bash, Representative Debbie Sariñana, Representative Roger Montoya, Senator Linda Lopez, Representative Patricia Roybal Caballero, Senator Bill Tallman, Senator Jeff Steinborn, Representative Kay Bunkeo, Representative Christine Trujillo, Representative Elizabeth Liz Thompson, Representative Gail Chasey, and Representative Miguel Garcia. Ooh, almost mispronounced that. So that's really great. And just that gives us 10 in the Senate and 12 in the House. So like Willie mentioned, we have 2 proposals going. So that's going to be great to put those numbers out there more too. In the interim committees, that makes 6 in Indian Affairs, 9 in Courts and Corrections, 15 in Health and Human Services, and 13 in Water and Natural Resources. So really great numbers. That's really exciting. But we can't stop there. We'd love for the numbers to keep growing. So one of the ways we've set up is we want to be sure that we are confirming that when they want to co-sponsor, that these are names of legislators actually saying they want to co-sponsor. So I've been working to make sure, either by speaking with them personally when I interact with them, through confirmation with our lead sponsors, or through written email, that that legislator is the one wanting to put their name on what we have is an intent to co-sponsor letter. So that can be found on the Green Amendment website. We do have a link for that, and we will be sending action items out as well, which will have that link. So if you have a legislator that maybe you get in conversation with and they say, yes, I would love to be a co-sponsor, encourage them to sign on to this letter. It's not just I support a Green Amendment, it's I intend to co-sponsor this green amendment. So it's that level up, and we want that level of commitment from them. So that is on the website, and my email is at the bottom. So it's Anneke @ For the Generations. That's ANNEKE. So if you would like to talk with me about how you can confirm to get your legislator's name on, please shoot me an email. Or if you get in conversation with them and they say they want to co-sponsor, tell them to email me, or tell them to email me so that I can confirm that their name. And as soon as I find that out, their name will go right up there and it will be added to our great champion list. So that's me. That's what I've been doing. And I will now pass the ball to Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul Sotter. I live in Albuquerque. I'm a scientist and I work as the Chief Scientific Officer of a biotechnology company. I've been active on behalf of the Green Amendment, and I serve on the board of Indivisible Albuquerque. I'm also a ward chair. So I've taken responsibility for a postcard campaign to target specific legislators with postcards from their constituents. Our top two priorities are Senator Joseph Cervantes and Senator Daniel Ivy Soto. They have key positions on Senate committees, the judiciary, that effectively blocked the Green Amendment from reaching the floor in the 2020 legislative session. So we'll also be reaching out to Brian Egolf, Speaker of the House, Peter Wirth, Senate Majority Leader, and Mimi Stewart, Senate Pro Tem, who makes key committee appointments. So I've been working with Athena and the rest of the team on gathering postcards from the relevant constituents. Where we are right now is we're creating spreadsheets by precinct and ward with the contact information for people who would be gathering filled out postcards from those constituents. So when we've gathered those postcards, they will either be mailed all at the same time to the targets or hand delivered to their offices. We'd like to get around 100 postcards for each targeted legislator. For some, that's going to be quite a bit easier than others. So that's what we're doing, and I'll hand it off.
Great. Athena, you've got the floor.
Yes, thank you, Dan, and thank you, Paul. My name's Athena Christodoulou, and I'm a retired Navy energy and environmental engineer. I'm also a member of the Veterans and Military Families Caucus, as well as the Adelante Progressive Caucus, and have been working on climate change and action for over a decade now. I want to point out a couple little facts. I'm a scientist. I like facts. You might be interested in these as well. A recent study showed that 8.7 million people a year, global-wise, die. That's a year. That's 8.7 million die from fossil fuel pollution, air pollution. And in the US, that 13% of our deaths are attributed to fossil fuel air pollution. We are simply poisoning our air. And I don't know if you saw a recent John Oliver video about PFAS, but we're poisoning our water and everything else as well. And that's because our government is not taking care of it. So here in New Mexico, we are trying to do the Green Amendment. Now, Willie mentioned that we're going to be addressing and trying to reach the governor. That's important because we need her support. She needs to be in there whispering. The senators and House representatives want her ear. She needs to have their ear. She needs to hear from the people, though. That's who she responds to. And we know she does care because she did great during COVID. And we do know that she does listen to her constituency. So right now we put together a letter and we want organizations as well as individuals to sign up. We'll be submitting these letters leading up to the next session. And we're asking you to sign up and spread the word. We have a right to life, and that is very much intertwined with clean air, water, and land. Thank you. And I'll turn this over, I think it's to Robert.
Thank you, Athena. Inspiring words. I resonate totally with them. I'm a volunteer with 350 Santa Fe here in Santa Fe, and it's been an honor to be part of this action team. Otherwise, among other things, I'm a retired chemical engineer with an emphasis that I had on advanced process control and computer modeling. So the modeling that they do on the climate is something that resonates very closely to me. You've heard about postcard campaigns, you've heard about governor's campaign, and now we're looking to spread the message more closely with the public, but with an eye to influence and engage the legislators that we've mentioned, who are primary targets at this time. Pretty much as with any campaign, there are a number of ways individuals and organizations can help. Let's take a look at some of them. Try educating your friends and neighbors. It's an easy way for folks to spread the word and engage. As environmental scientist Kathleen Hayhoe has said, the key to having a real discussion is to connect over shared values like family, community, and religion, and to prompt people to realize that they already care. You can sign up to distribute door hangers in your neighborhood where communities allow that. For those on social media, share posts, tweets, etc. Send a tweet that includes your legislator's Twitter handle. You can find details in the Green Amendment Toolkit that's online on the Green Amendment website, and maybe it'll be in the chat soon. Submit letters to the editor. There should be a link to media outlets on the Green Amendment website and notes on how to write a letter to the editor. You can also find them on our 350 Santa Fe wiki, 350santafe.wiki. You can search for print media, and we provide this as a service to all organizations. You can find a list of all the outlets by city that we know of for anyone to use. You can find the media's contact information, guidelines for letters to the editors, the maximum number of words they accept and so on. You can also find a link on how to write letters to the editor. We've been able to include these with the permission of the Sierra Club. They put some excellent notes together. And that includes examples so that you can model yours on one of them. Finally, if you get stuck, the team at Green Amendments for the Generations will help anyone interested in drafting a letter. See the links in the chat. And if any of these interest you, contact Anneke. I think she's already posted her email. Another option to gain support is to work locally to pass municipal resolutions. But I need to hand that over to Bridgette, who can talk more about that. Thank you.
I'd love to actually just pause real quick. Thank you so much, Robert. We have a special guest, Senator Harold Pope Jr., who is with us, and we thought we would just give him the floor for a few minutes to explain why he is such a strong advocate for the Green Amendment and any advice he has for all of you. Senator?
Thank you, and thanks everyone for putting this event on. Thanks for the support, because that's how we're going to get this passed. Supporting this legislation was easy for me. Who could be against safeguarding our air, our land, and our water, and ensuring that we protect it for future generations? Unfortunately, we haven't done enough in the past to make that a reality. And going forward, we need to do that. We have so many in our communities, especially our youth, that are saying, why aren't we doing anything? Why aren't we stepping up? So for me, I'm going to make the same ask, is we need people out there in the community to call their legislators, talk to their community members. We need your help. As was stated, there are 22 members of the New Mexico legislature on board right now, but we need more. And there's only so much that I can do from my standpoint. Believe me, I'm going to be talking this up. I'm going to be trying to get more senators on board. But you know what moves senators and state reps more than I can do? It's their constituents in their districts and constituents throughout the state, writing letters, making phone calls, and letting them know how important this issue and the Green Amendment is to you. So please do all you can. You can reach out to me as well. I want to be supportive in any way I can, because for far too long, we have made it to where people have been, especially in this state, have been making the false choice of having to decide the job or their employment or the air they breathe, the water they drink, and their health. And they shouldn't have to do that. And that's why we need this constitutional amendment to protect those people, to protect our state, and to make sure that everything that we do in this state legislatively, we look at it through a constitutional lens to make sure that we are protecting our air, land, and water. So I appreciate all that you're doing. Please step up and help us any way you can. And thanks again.
Thank you, Senator, so much. We know that it's up to us to lift up our voices, but it's nice to know that we have such a strong champion working within the halls. So thank you. Bridgette, please.
Hi, my name is Bridgette Brady, and I am the Communications and Advocacy Coordinator for Green Amendments for the Generations New Mexico. And I am going to talk a little bit about one of those other modes of engagement that you can get involved with, in addition to the menu of options that Robert shared with us all earlier, and that is municipal resolution. So the process of urging your municipal, your town or county leaders to actually pass a formal resolution in support of the passage of a green amendment that would then get passed on to the legislature. So why is this of value? I think first and most obviously to influence legislators. You know, your state legislators really value and listen to local government support, right? Your town council is speaking for more than just themselves. They are speaking for the entire community. So they're not just getting letters from individuals saying I support this, they're getting a formal resolution that your government officials went through the trouble to write and pass on to them. So it really carries a lot of weight with the legislature. Second, of course, not every municipality in New Mexico is actually going to pass a resolution in support of Green Amendment, but just the process of working towards it has a lot of value in itself. Every meeting that you're having to educate your town council is an opportunity to educate the public and bring in broader engagement, right? If you have an opportunity to do a presentation for your municipality leadership, you're going to have other residents listening, the press might be listening, and obviously council members are going to be listening in. They're hugely influential in the community. And it's just an opportunity to get people more engaged, right? You can invite others from the community to join you when you present and listen, and even, you know, be supportive in the public comment section of the meeting. And finally, if you are successful in passing a resolution, it's an opportunity for press. You know, you can put out a press release, which we can help you do and provide the tools for that for you. And it's a really easy press hit. I don't think I've seen a municipal resolution passed in support of a green amendment in any other state that didn't get some level of press coverage. So you're really then amplifying the educational value of this work by getting it out to your entire community or everyone who sees that press piece. So I'm going to do a really, really broad brush overview of the process so you can get an idea of what this entails and if it's of interest to you. But we are going to be doing a more full-fledged training on this on the evening of November 10th. So I'll share a link to sign up for that at the end of this, so you can sign up if you're interested. So of course, the process is going to be slightly different from municipality to municipality, but generally it involves you making an ask of your town administrative office and requesting time to do a presentation during a regular meeting. What you'll be doing in that presentation, you'll be asking that they pass a resolution voicing their support of a green amendment. You'll be educating them. You'll be educating them on why this is important to you, why it's important to your community, and how municipalities can use a green amendment to support local environmental protection. And you can make it really easy for them. You can offer to provide draft resolution language, which we can also provide for you, as well as copies, of course, of the New Mexico Green Amendment language. Either, you know, if your municipality is meeting in person now, you can bring those in hand or follow up with them with those virtually. And if the idea of doing your own presentation before your municipal leadership is daunting, we're here to help with that. You can ask, and a member of the Green Amendments team or our broader coalition can join you and support you either in your presentation or just be in the audience to help answer any tough questions you might get from your municipal leaders. So if that's of interest to you, we are doing a training the evening of November 10th. I'll put the link in the chat shortly, but it's going to be a more in-depth and hands-on overview of this whole process, why it's important, how and what you would present, and how to handle questions you might get, and even giving space for you to practice your own presentation if you'd like. So along with that, we'll also be providing all the tools you'll need to do this, to make the ask, to offer appropriate resolution language, to put out a press release, and to answer questions. So that will be happening. And we also have a toolkit in the works right now to complement it that will include all of this information, tips, sample PowerPoint you can use, and sample press releases. So to get the toolkit and to sign up for that training opportunity, follow the Google form that I'm putting in the chat right now. Oops. But yeah, that's the municipal resolution option. I'm not sure now if I'm turning it over to Terry or to Linda.
I don't believe Terry is on, so we say hello to Terry Sloan in his absentia and thank him for his involvement in the campaign. And we will pass it to Linda to close out the sort of formal portion of the webinar, where the goal here was really to provide everybody all the pathways and routes into the campaign. I believe Maya, who is the guiding light of the Green Amendments movement across the country, will stick around afterwards if folks have specific questions about the Green Amendment itself, how it works, the legal issues. And so you can feel free to stick around if you want to dig in a little bit more deeply. Of course, there is also the self-training to learn more about it and all of the written materials. Linda has been a part of our strategy core team as well. And so Linda, I'd love to pass it to you now to sort of provide some closing thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Dan, and the rest of you on our team. And thanks again to all of you for attending this update webinar and on the New Mexico Green Amendment. We are glad to have you present and hope you will spread the word. I'm Linda Starr from the Great Old Broads for Wilderness. Rio Grande Valley Broadband is our local chapter. And I started with this New Mexico Green Amendment campaign from the beginning 2+ years ago, and went with Maya, or was there with Maya when we did a fracking tour. And we learned a lot from that fracking tour. I hope you are inspired and motivated now to take action and be involved in this campaign in the many ways that have been suggested. Especially educate the public whenever, wherever, friends and neighbors, our children, grandchildren, all of our family members. So get the word out, send postcards, help string door hangers, help social media, letters to the editors especially are needed, emails or phone calls to local city, county, state government officials, and let them know how important this is to you. It's important to me, or I wouldn't have stuck with this long. So I enjoy every moment I spend with this group of people, and I hope that you will get involved as well. So stay hoping and working for our planet, and have a good evening. Goodbye, and stay on for questions and answers if you would like to. Thank you.
Great. I believe we are going to stop recording. Is that correct? Nope, we're going to keep recording. Great.
We have some questions in the Q&A. We have an anonymous attendee asked, what local grassroots organizations are we working with in this process? And I know that we have a long list from trying to get Ole, New Mexico on board, all the way to Albuquerque Interfaith and in between. But I think that Maya and the rest of the panelists, you guys might have some more answers to that particular question.
Yeah, so that's a terrific question. It's and a very important question, as you all know. It's really important that in order for us to get a New Mexico Green Amendment passed, it's going to come from and come because of the support and the energy and the positive engagement of the people of New Mexico. And so we actually have over 40 New Mexico organizations that have signed on in support of advancing a New Mexico Green Amendment, all being engaged to different levels and different degrees, depending upon what works best for their organization. And of course, as Anneke has said, we have over 20 legislators at this point that are championing this message. And in fact, New Mexico is really at the forefront of the Green Amendment movement because of all of this positive energy and engagement from the people and the elected representatives of New Mexico. So I'm going to put in a chat a link to the overview page. And if you go down to that page, you will find all of the organizations that have signed on in support, as well as a hot link to their websites. So you can learn more about those organizations. There you go. It's in the chat.
Any other questions? Feel free to put them our way right now. Mia asked, I was wondering if there has been any engagement with tribal leadership on this issue.
So this is, of course, another really important question. And we have worked very early on to have engagement with Native American communities in New Mexico, because of course they are such an important part of the community, such important leaders. We have met with, and I have met with the staff of the All Pueblo Council on 3 occasions, have met with the Natural Resources Committee of the All Pueblo Council on 2 occasions, have presented before the All Pueblo Council of Governors on 1 occasion, and was invited to return. But then because of COVID, that presentation ended up getting postponed and has yet to be rescheduled. Terry Sloan, who was supposed to be on this evening, but I guess couldn't get on. He is a very active and engaged member of our leadership team. And Senator Cedillo Lopez has really been undertaking a very active effort, particularly in recent months, to meet with tribal leadership one-on-one, going to the Pueblos to talk with them about the Green Amendment, to share information and to answer their questions. So we recognize the critical importance of partnership with tribal leaders and have been working very hard to share with them the information that they would like to have, that they need to have, answer any questions, and ensure that we provide them all of the support for engagement that is beneficial.
Great, thanks. And Claudia just offered a suggestion that we might want to engage with the new chair of the Native American Caucus, Isaac Dakota Casados. So we will take that to heart.
That is, thank you very, very much. And, you know, and that's the kind of thing that we really benefit from, right? We have weekly meetings from those who want to be part of the leadership team, and we have these monthly meetings, and we try to be as open and engaging as we can, because you all have so much knowledge, right? Not only do we need your partnership to help spread the word, but to also help guide this New Mexico Green Amendment grassroots effort. And so information like that is really helpful and very appreciated. Thank you so, so much for that. And we will definitely take it to heart and be following up first thing tomorrow, actually.
Any other questions?
I kind of just wanted to add what Maya said. We, the Green Amendment team here, will be at the guest speaker series on October 20th. That's a Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. We will be presenting with the Veteran and Military Families Caucus. So it might be a great idea possibly for us to do outreach with them prior to, so maybe they can join as well, and then maybe we can present for their caucus as well too. So I want to do a little shout out to Chair of the Veteran and Military Families Caucus, Mrs. Claudia Reisner, and let everybody know that if you are watching this video and you want to know more, please join us again on October 20th from 5 to 6, and we'll be there as well.
Thank you, Nicole.
And we'll be sure to have, and I'll put it in the chat in a second. I don't think that we actually have that up on the calendar page yet, but it will be on the calendar page shortly. So I'll put a link to the calendar page of nmgreenamendment.org. And that's a great place to, see what's going on, how you can, learn more what these events are. And if we're missing something, if there's an event that you're having relevant to the environment where you think we should have that on the calendar page to help spread the word, that's another thing we want to do, right? We're good partners. And so it's, advancing the Green Amendment is fundamentally about environmental protection. And so if you have an environmental protection presentation or program or initiative going on that you think should be added to our calendar page, we would like to have that information, and we'd like to help support you in spreading the word for your events. So, and you can actually Anneke, if you can re-put your email in the chat, and you can send that information to Anneke, and she'll get it over to the rest of the team, and we'll get it up.
I think, wonderful. Thank you, Anneke. Any last comments from any of our panelists that we didn't get to? I think we've reached the end of the questions.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, someone asked in the chat earlier if there was a list of legislators that are not supportive of the Green Amendment. There's no official list, but if their name's not on the intent to co-sponsor letter, they have either said no, or I just have not heard that they would like to be co-sponsors. So again, if you have a legislator that you would like to encourage or have had a conversation with and they say, yeah, have them email me. I think it's also that letter, that link has all the names, and that's a great way to email them and show them who else, and show them our amazing co-sponsors like Senator Pope, who you heard speak so passionately, and inspire them to join. So there's no official list of who's not signed on, but that co-sponsor list is very accurate of who we've had positive engagement and real support that they're going to help get this through.
And David just suggests that we save the chat and presumably email it to all of the participants afterwards, so they have all the links in one place. I know that there is a plan to follow up with everybody after the fact, and the chat will show up on the recorded version as well. So thank you, David.
Yeah, and so, David, we do, in fact, where all the links are coming from very quickly and easily to the chat for the most part is we actually do have an action sheet, for lack of a better word, action alert, where all of these actions with a brief level of detail and hot links are located, and we're going to send that to all of the participants. We also have a lot of this on the action page of at nmgreenamendment.org, take action page. Again, with hot links. And if you are not yet part of our NM Green Amendment Google group, where we try to judiciously, because we don't want to overwhelm people, but provide information about what's coming up or how people can get involved. If you're not on that, you're also going to want to email Anneke so we can get you on that list, because we're actually going to take these action elements and we're going to sort of pepper them out one a week to remind everybody about the ways that they can engage. And give them the hot links, because it can be overwhelming to get 5 different kinds of actions to pursue, but you get one a week, it can work out pretty easily.
Great. And I love that we're consistently plugging Anneke's email, because I know Anneke, if you want to get involved, however you want to get involved, please get in touch with us, because we'd love to find ways to patch you into the campaign. There's no lack of need here as we spread the word over the next few months.
And the thing about New Mexico, right, is to get a constitutional amendment is pretty quick and easy as compared to other states, right? It's going to go before each of the legislative houses, and a majority vote of the Senate and the House once, and that Green Amendment has gone through the legislative process and goes before the people at the next election for the people to vote, because this is fundamentally about the people and what they want and the message and the guidance they want to send to their government officials, not just the guidance, the constitutional obligations they want to hold their government officials to account to. So we can do it, right? If we pull together and we get enough legislative champions and we get a majority vote in each house, this could be before the people of New Mexico in just over a year. And by the end of 2022, you could have a constitutional right to a clean and healthy environment, including water, air, climate, flora, fauna, the cultural, natural, scenic, and human health values of a clean and healthy environment, and make sure that your government officials are constitutionally bound in a meaningful, enforceable way to protect the natural resources of New Mexico for present and future generations. So it's a really worthwhile effort that benefits every single environmental campaign happening in the state of New Mexico.
And Maya, there's a question from Claudia about the governor's role in making sure this is part of the agenda for the special session.
So typically, if you're having just legislation, yes, it is up to the governor to sort of decide what advances and what doesn't. But a constitutional amendment is different. And actually, in the 30-day session, legislators can put forth constitutional amendments. And if you look at the history of the 30-day legislative session and constitutional amendment proposals in the state of New Mexico, the 30-day session is filled with constitutional amendment proposals over the course of years. So it is common practice that constitutional amendments are brought forth during the 30-day session, and it is absolutely allowed. And so, you know, our legislative champions like Senator Pope are poised and planning to do that. And we are hoping for the governor's support. But we don't need the governor's support. And once both legislative houses cast their majority vote and the Green Amendment advances, it will go straight to the people. The governor does not have an option or an opportunity to veto it. So this is really about you, the people, taking your power back.
Great, thank you. Thank you to everybody who joined us this evening. Thank you, Senator Pope, for taking the time out of your schedule. Really appreciate it. And a round of applause for all of our leaders who spoke this evening. I love working with all of you, and everybody in this state is lucky that you are doing the advocacy that you're doing. So thank you.